Hi everyone, it's Megan Wisner Quinlan and I am here with another challenge from Lisa Young, and I'm super excited. This one in February we're doing kind of a Valentine's theme, and I asked to do Queen of Hearts. There's something about queens that I absolutely love, their imagery, and for this one I kind of did one already on a previous video that I accidentally messed up on. So it's great. We have an idea of what we're going to do now. So I think I can move a little more quickly. So this is kind of the general idea. And I have a page already started with some Dina Wakley acrylic sprays. And I adjusted my page and then I sprayed them. But they're my favorite sprays to use to get an instant background. You get these cool effects that look quite cosmic. So, and I wanted to use some fun images. I love these Limperella stamps with Paper Artsy. So I stamped a whole bunch. Initially I thought I was going to do this one, but I think she's gonna be a little too large to allow more room to play. So I decided on this one. So we're going to use her as our made image, and I'm going to use some handmade papers. These are from Paper Source, but they're probably handmade cotton paper in India, is my guess. And some word stencils. The other thing I wanted to do is incorporate some fluorescence. So I have these Lucas pink and orange fluorescence, because to me, I don't use brights all that often, and I just thought how much fun it would be. So I'm going to kind of get started with the stencils because they need a little time to dry. And I'm going to start big. These are still kind of wet actually from my last video, but that's okay. So these are, it's going to be kind of chunky too. So I'm going to position the stencil in different directions and make it grungy. I kind of like the fluorescent, you know, it kind of reminds me of the 80s and graffiti art, that sort of thing. So I'm kind of excited to incorporate it a little bit more in my page. And I've got a little extra, so I'm just going to blop it around, mainly so I don't ruin my dresser, which I am working on today. All right, so now I'm going to do a smaller text. And if you ever don't know, like, there's so many stencils out there that are amazing. And if you're ever unsure, like, where to begin with the stencil, I mean, for a background, there's nothing better than text. I love the way that text looks. I think it's always a good choice for backgrounds. So I'm just gonna, oopsie. I'm going to spread it on, and I'm doing two kind of complementary colors just for a little bit of added texture. I think that looks super cool. I love it. So we're going to move all these wet things down here. Okay, hopefully I won't break anything today, I'm known for doing that. Okay, so this is going to dry very quickly because, you know, I kind of put it on very light. I'm going to rub it a little too, just to help that along. And I don't like my stencils to come out like super bold because they're the background. And then I'm going to kind of start with gluing my image down. Okay, so I'm going to put her kind of to the side and up high a little bit, because what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these fabric pieces, well, paper pieces, but it's going to become her dress. I kind of like the thinner Botanical, and I'm just going to take a pencil, and you know, I mean, I could start it here, it doesn't really matter, but I'm just kind of gonna go with what's already there and just do like a loose shape. And I'm gonna quickly cut that out. And this is great for people who aren't really at the place where they're doing very figurative detailed drawing, you know, you just are beginning, or if you're more abstract and you just want to kind of have a suggestion of a figure, which I often do as a mixed media person. So I'm just going to lay this down, and I'm going to trim it from my bottom. It's sticking out a little, which I don't know if you can see, but all right. And again, I'm not going to worry too much about how that might look a little odd or anything like that, because I'm going to go back in with the Stabilo pencil and I'm going to kind of pull it all together so it looks a little more intentional. I'm just going to draw along the sides here, and I may even go around her a little bit too. And again, just kind of making everything pull together a little more. I have to be careful with this paper because it is a handmade paper and you can only rub them so much. But basically, I'm just trying to grunge it up. If I had a water brush, sometimes I might go in there and get the water brush going. But again, I'm not gonna worry too much about that. I also brought some of this washi tape in because, again, if I'm working quickly like I am today, washi tape is a really great way to kind of add things, and you don't have to do much. It's already sticky. It's already got some images on there. Plus, I picked this Dina Wakley one up because it has hearts. And I'm just gonna add some pieces randomly. Again, I'm not gonna think too much about that. And then I also have, I've been putting everything on rings because then I can kind of keep collections together and it's a little bit easier for me to use. And this is Jane Davenport. I got this recently and I am loving this tape so much. It has all these cool face features with eyes and mouths and things like that. I just think it looks really cool. So I've been using that a lot. And then I'm gonna add a little bit more to her crown. I might even try and go back in and just add some of these hearts right here to kind of finalize it like that. Okay. So I'm just gonna trim it off and just kind of cut some little spikes in there. I don't want to get rid of the hearts too much, so I'm going to try and cut with the hearts so they kind of stay complete. Let's see if that worked. It should. And it can be messy because it's mixed media. Okay, that came out pretty cool. It's a little bit longer, but again, I can tie that in with my pencil. You can make everything kind of look and grunge it up. Already, I'm loving the way that this looks. Initially, too, I had done a stem, like a hand-drawn botanical, but I was thinking it might be fun to use some of my stamped botanicals too, because I've been using these so much. And I just love how they look on everything. This one's very pink. I'll try to keep the door shut. My kids are watching a movie. So I really love how that looks. Kind of has a monochromatic feel. So I'm just gonna glue these down. I'm gonna do the top one first, like so. And you know, once everything dries, you can go back in and really have fun adding more to your collage. I usually do everything in stages. I certainly don't work quite this quickly. You know, I'll do some backgrounds on some things, let that dry, and then come back in and do some doodling or, you know, adding a little bit more. I'm trying to figure out if I want these to the side. I kind of do, I think. So I'm just gonna kind of push them down. And again, even with these botanicals, like sometimes they'll stick up a little bit. I don't really, it doesn't always bother me. As long as most of it's down, then I'm pretty happy. If it gets to be a problem, there's other adhesives I can kind of stick in there to have it a little bit more sticky. And so I'm just gonna kind of doodle a little bit more with this tape so it doesn't look so like washi tape-ish. And here goes one pencil. Add some more doodles on the bottom. My 4-year-old is checking me out, so this may be a quick video. Okay, so while that's drying, hi buddy, I'm going to quickly add this text because I just love it so much. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick it on this paper because it's got some more of the black and white going. And I can just get, again, a little bit more depth to my page. I just like how that feels. And when you tear this Botanical paper, it's really fibrous looking. It's just cool. I'm gonna glue that on there too. And it glues really nicely onto pages. Got some glue on there. I'm not worried about that too much, but you can take an eraser. Again, I kind of want it to look a little grungy, although it really isn't centered. I do want it to be centered. That's cool. And since I have that there, just to balance things out, it's probably ideal to add that just elsewhere in the piece, so it's not just by itself. It'll just kind of get everything a little more consistent here. I'm even going to cover some of this up too, just so I have it in a couple different places. And you know, again, at this point, you're really, that's kind of blue. Somebody, okay. You know, once it's drying, you can kind of go through and add some marks and some doodles, which again, just give a little bit more textured interest to your page. And I don't know, I just love that. And because I have so much of this kind of stark black and white, I feel obligated visually to add some more marks that are black and white. Again, just pulling everything together. So it kind of seems a little more intentional as opposed to just mixed up. And you know, that got smudged, but I have my eraser. I can diminish some of the, I can add some more marks. Part of that is glue, part of that's wet paint, but again, this is why we love mixed media, because it's messy. I like making a mess. All right. I feel like I'm almost where I want to be. Sometimes I might feel like, I don't always do this, but sometimes I feel like pieces need a border. This, again, this is an occasional feeling. This is not something I feel all the time. But in this case today, I feel like I want to add just some suggestion of a border maybe. Kind of pull it all together. And again, I could maybe add some doodles to my border as well, just to kind of put a little more of me into my art. Let's see. Are they perfect? No, they are not. That's okay. You know, like, this is why mixed media is fun. It's a looser way of playing with art. It's messy, it's grungy, more layered and textured. And again, you know, I will often use my eraser. It's a great way to kind of tone things down if you put them on too dark, or blend them in too. I'm really liking how different this looks than the other one. I mean, it's similar, but I was in a rush with the other one. So I could give her pink cheeks to kind of tie this white face in. I can't decide, and I'm also thinking that it could look good with this. Well, here, I can do this. I can do that first, and then just see how I feel about it. I kind of like that better, I think. I think the pink would be a little predictable and possibly a little much, is what I'm thinking. However, I can still add like a little kind of pink in here if I want to just kind of give, you know what I mean? Give her some pink in other places so everything isn't so overtly whatever. And if I don't like it, I can grunge it up. It doesn't have to be there, you know. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I really had fun doing this spread with you, and I hope I've inspired you to do some playing in your journal, making a fun queen with just some basic elements. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you watch all the videos with all the artists. It's a really good time. Thank you so much.